Greetings, everybody. My name is Lily Willie, and in this video, I will say only that I'm on the west coast of Portland, Oregon. Those of you who watch my YouTube channel that know me know where I am. Those who do not know yet can find out for themselves if they so choose, but I'm not going to share it here. Lily Willie is a name I very strongly identify with. I will not share my birth name here. Those who choose can look it up for themselves. I am responding to a video that I just saw on YouTube that was shared by a media personality named Paul Joseph Watson. And I want to respond to it because while I am myself leftist, what he showed in that video was quite horrible to me, and it should be considered horrible by any real leftist. The event I address here is the attack of an African American woman named Denise Scott, who herself is a Donald Trump supporter, who was attacked by alleged leftists. And I saw this on video myself. The video Lily Watson shared. That was showed being attacked by leftists, primarily, as far as I could tell based on what was shown in the video, for supporting Donald Trump and for expressing her political opinion, which is her right as a citizen of the United States of America. And I want to tell you, I want to tell you what I saw was really was not right. That is not what a real leftist does, people. I want to tell you, those those people caught on tape were violent. They were being violent. They were being angry. And what they were doing was evil. It may not have been more than reactive evil. It may not have been intentional evil. But it was evil. Because I may strongly disagree with Miss Scott. I personally do not truly support either of the candidates running. And because one of the reasons is neither of them strikes me as a good enough spokesperson for the peace I want to see in the world. And neither of them had the quality that I want to see in my president, which is the ability to tell the devil to go to worse hell than the one he runs and make him enjoy every second of the journey. And I don't want I don't want a person in office who is likely, whether based on his verbal ability or inability, as the case may be by itself, and or his personality alone, or whether by virtue of things she's already supported and hurts she may have inadvertently caused, and blood she may have inadvertently helped shed, or at least had people who now know her face in certain countries with whom this one had been at war form the impression that she has helped cause the bloodshed of people they regard as innocent in their country. It were almost better for someone who was not known at all. That was a total fresh face. to the media, to world politics than for either of those options, no matter how well-intentioned either of those people might be. And I crave my audience's pardon for any stumbling I may have thus far done in this video, because I do have an anxiety disorder that stems partly from a neurological disorder. And I spent most of my 37 years being just shy of socially paralyzed, and even to where I couldn't order my own food until I was 18. And so I crave your pardon for any verbal issues or stammering. But I want to tell you who listen, what I saw in that video happened to Denise Scott was not done by real leftists. That was done by angry people who were using the label leftist to spread their reactivity and their anger towards a woman that they either chose to not see as their fellow American or could not, from their own rage in that moment, see as their fellow American. I can not support what they did. I also cannot, in good conscience, support Trump, nor based on most of what I've seen, including her basket of deplorables comment, can I in good conscience support Hillary. Unless she were to show what I'll call socio-verbal tactics that she hath not yet shown the camera, and that I have doubt that many Americans would show the camera. The one I've seen before the camera come closest to it is Millard Barack Obama. I did not see him either time he ran against anybody spew one insult. I didn't see him call names. He was every bit the gentleman. And you know what? This country's founding fathers were gentlemen, or at least upper middle class, and they spoke better English than I do. They spoke better English than Hillary Clinton. They were thoroughly educated in Latin and ancient Greek, at least badly. They would have been able to read it and possibly write it, at the very bare minimum, badly. Because that's what having a good education meant. They had to have been able to at least read French. And Thomas Jefferson spoke at least conversantly some Italian, French, German, and if I remember correctly, he spoke some Dutch. And they knew how to be well-behaved diplomats. I have not seen very many American politicos of the 20th century behave themselves as eloquently or as politely as they practically would have had to. And I feel so tired of the barbarism that passes for American political activism, for tired of the meanness that goes well beyond one-upmanship, that passes for American politics. I feel so hurt. And disappointed that my country that worked hard based on what I remember of news reports when I was little, 7, 8, 9, that worked hard to be an influence that could help bring down the wall. The Berlin Wall, for instance. That worked hard to be somewhere that people who longed, who ached in their bones and in their blood and veins for the right to communicate their opinion politically without being shot or jailed or attacked. Or attacked for having an opinion that the government did not consider popular or right, that my country has begun to descend enough once more to enough of a piss-poor version of that freedom worship that some of my fellow leftists, my people, are willing to attack, beat up someone that under almost any other circumstances they would be knocking on the door of the ACLU to help protect her rights. The rights I saw attacked in that video that Paul Joseph Watson showed of Denise Scott being attacked for voicing her opinion as an American by people calling themselves leftist. I cannot believe I saw that. Even if she did, and I'm not certain, based on the clip I saw, that she did. She voiced her opinion. She held up a sign like so many leftists have done, saying she was still for Trump. After someone had defaced his star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. Now, I don't know, based on just that she was spewing hate any more than any other angry sign-carrying protester would have been. I don't know what possessed those people who attacked her. But I feel quite impatient, quite disgusted with what I saw. Because that's not what a real liberal does, people. If you want to spew, fine. Go write your opinions in some good old leftist spew paper, like many and many a brave progressive had even more reason to do before you. Do it. Take advantage of this country's freedom of the press. But don't assault the life of a fellow American. Just because she supports somebody, you despise, that's not what America stands for. I don't care what political side you're on. That's not my America, and that's not what America stands for. I really, really hope that you people who be here, I really hope that you look at that. How would you like it? How would you like it if a Trump supporter beat you up for holding up a sign, say you supported Clinton or Jill Stein or whomever? How would you like it? Don't you think that in doing that sort of stuff, that the fear that Trump is trying to spread has won, or has begun to won, and grip you? Don't you think? Can't you see that in doing that, you would run the risk of helping him gain support? If you hurt people for supporting him, you'll gain more support. Can't you see that? 'Cause I sure can. And I tell you something, I'm half Hungarian, some part British, and 1/8 Dutch. And my my dad worked hard to provide a voice here in the States for the Hungarian cause. And I tell you something, he in American terms is pretty conservative. In a lot of areas. And he and I get into disagreements, and have gotten into disagreements about a lot of things. But he always had a quality that I was always very proud of. And he's still alive. And he's gotten a little bit more rigid in certain ways as time. But I tell you, he always had one quality I was always really proud of. That among adults, whether he agreed with their politics or not. And whether he even agreed with or supported their lifestyle or not. He was always polite with them. He would with any adult. From the time I first really began to watch him as a kid, through a good portion of my early adulthood, with almost any adult, whether he agreed with them or not, he might politely debate their ass off, but he would be polite. And he with a colleague or with a person he didn't know, he wouldn't spew hatred ever. And the behavior I saw was absolutely horrific. Not just towards Denise Scott, but towards her rights as your fellow American, and towards civil liberties, her civil liberties, and ultimately your own. Because if you had seen that done by a conservative to someone on the leftist side, you would have been all over them. And you would have been hounding the ACLU and just about everyone you could think of that could be gotten on your side. I cannot believe it. Everybody involved in that attack owes Denise Scott an apology, and then some. Blessings. Miss Scott. I cannot tell you how much it hurts and pains me to have seen you attacked by my fellow progressives, my fellow liberals. I cannot believe it. I want you to know we're not all like that. I may politely disagree with you. You're a support of Trump. But I may be leftist, but I don't like what I've seen of Hillary thus far. And I want to tell you, after what I saw on video, I wish I could offer you a hug. Because what I saw in that behavior was not good leftist behavior, and it wasn't good behavior from anybody. Blessings, my lady. I hope I hope your hurts heal. And I hope anything you need to get better gets better within your own willingness for it to taste. Mr. Watson? I am a leftist. But I too despise the violence on both sides. And I want the hate from all sides to stop. I hope that if you do see this, you take this to mind. Not all leftists are like the ones you saw. The ones you caught on tape. I'm glad you shared with the world and with the YouTube public that behavior, because even if I'm a leftist, I'm tired of the anger too. And I don't want my fellow Americans to be denied their freedom of speech. Just because people using the label leftist disagree with their views. I hope things get better. Because it hurts. The way that things have gotten to America hurts. Mr. Watson, I don't know how much etymology you have, but one of the meanings of liberal is generous. It's from Latin. It means free and generous. The reason I'm liberal is because I want to see policies that are generous towards the rights of as many people in this country, preferably one day elsewhere as possible. The right to have easy access to health care. their right to see their loved ones in the hospital regardless of what's in their pants. Their loved ones that they are bound to, heart, mind, soul. Right? Whether they're a man bound to a man, man bound to a woman bound to a woman, or other, to be buried next to their loved one, their spouse, in whatever way that comes about when they die, and to have that be an automatic legal right. That's why I'm a liberal. That's why I'm a liberal, Mr. Watson. Please don't think. Please don't think that we all want people who disagree with us to hurt. Because that's not what a real person